Silver Sisters. It's Nicole from the Gorgeous Gray Movement, and I have a very special guest on, Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa.
Hey there. I'm so excited to talk all things gray. And so,
Right? Yes, gray, silver. I love that we can, play with the word because it, means, I mean, as you know, there are so many versions of gray and silver that happen. So let's introduce yourself though, because I really want people to continue to expand who they are following. So you guys, you want to check out Vanessa. So her Instagram handle is SilverLiberation. So she has over 57,000 followers, you guys. Okay. She's all about health, beauty, fashion. She's an author, she's a life coach. When you follow her, you learn a lot about her favorite products. And I think that's important when you come into this world and you're not sure, in regards to as you change your hair color, what do we do for makeup? What do we do for clothes? What products will work in my body as I go through menopause? And we were just talking about that. And so Vanessa has kind of
mhm.
gone through that, and she has a lot of affiliate links that you can go to her link tree and just check out to see if any of those are resonating with you, because we all need help, ladies, when we go through this transition in life to keep our bodies healthy and strong and vibrant. But let's dive in. This is an interview all about Vanessa's story. And this is what I give you when you come to my YouTube channel, The Gorgeous Gray Movement, is stories from the heart. You guys ask me all the time, give me more stories, and I keep on producing more stories for you. So today, Vanessa, I want you to just dive in. The biggest question I get all the time is, tell us a story about why you chose to allow your natural hair color to come in when the world tells us to hide it.
Well, it's a big one for me because for me, just to set the stage, my self-worth, my lovability was all tied to outward appearance. The right friends, the right shoes, the right boyfriend, all these outside circumstances. And I was the girl, not only have I been coaching and teaching, also sing. I've got a jazz band that I sing with occasionally. And so appearance has always been, like I said, since I was a little girl, has been important to me. And so I was that girl that I said, I will never go gray. I will never, ever, ever go gray. In fact, I told my ex-husband, we will have a fund set aside for when I can't do it myself, that someone will color my hair. That is how strongly I felt about it. And, because deep down, like I said, it was a vanity issue, not even the vanity, it was a vanity because my worth and my love was tied to that. So fast forward to 2019, September, I was going to visit my daughter in Berlin, Germany. And 5 months prior to that, I should say actually about 8 months prior to that, I had a pixie haircut for over a decade, very short pixie. And I was battling with the grays then. And I had an ex-partner who said, why don't you go platinum blonde? Like, why don't you, because that way it'll look fabulous with your pixie. And so I tried that, and it fried my hair. Like, it was a 6-week stint. I almost got to this, but it was still that yellow, kind of yellowy blonde. It was just not, so I immediately colored it back. Fast forward, I started growing my hair out of the pixie, and I was about 5 months in. I go to my hairdresser, and he's like, okay, you cannot come back for, at least 2 months for your trim. And off I go to Germany. I'm having a conversation with my 28-year-old daughter at the time. And I said, I'm growing it out. She's like, Mom, what are you going to do with your hair? And I said, I don't know. I'm just going to do something different. I said, but I got to figure out what to do with these damn grays. I just don't know. And she said, she goes, Fabi's her husband. He thinks it's so sexy. He can't wait till I go gray, which is interesting because, she's 28, totally different demographic, and totally not like, to hear my daughter say that didn't come from me. But it resonated. She's like, she also felt like wrinkles are normal and all these things that I've been like, ooh, I want to fight that. I came back home from that trip, and it was 2 months in to go get my hair trimmed from my grow out. So I grab my phone and I text my fabulous hairdresser. He's like this badass rocker. He does like all these celebrities' hair. He's like so freaking cool. I text him, hi, I'm back home. I am ready for my hair trim. And, it'll be like on Tuesday. And then I said, if I could just figure out what to do with these damn grays. And he didn't say anything, no response on the phone. And then And I was sitting right here. I don't know where it came from, but I text, or F it. I could just let it go gray. I don't know who said that, why said, like, and immediately he responded, "Atta girl." And then I immediately after that went right to the computer and I started immediately looking at pretty girls with gray hair, models with gray hair, older women that look fabulous with gray hair. I tried everything that would like do that. And guess what I found? Many beautiful, amazing women with gray hair and silver. I thought, and immediately once I got that, which didn't take long, honestly, why I'd never Googled that before, I guess it wasn't on my radar. I picked up that phone and said, "It's done, going gray." And I never, ever looked back. I thought, where did this come from? Who is this person? Within minutes, I knew within minutes that this was going to be radically much, much more than just about gray hair color. I knew for me, and now I've found out since for most women, this was going to be a radical redefinition of beauty, learning to love myself from the inside, learning the aging process. I knew it. And I thought, I'm going to write a book about this. Like, I'm going to write a book about this experience because I just viscerally felt it, which is how I came up with the, with SilverLiberation. Like, I pondered long and like, what would be the perfect, I'm a perfectionist, a recovering one. So there's that. I pondered long and hard how to get the perfect Instagram handle that represented, and I knew it was silver because at the time to me, gray meant drab and silver was fabulous. Silver is just, I mean, obviously I've changed how I feel about all those, but in the beginning, I needed to make this glamorous, sexy, glorious for me to step into that, to step into my roots. That's what I needed to do. And I freaking get goosebumps over it because it's just been amazing.
Wow. I like when you were saying kind of that, like, I don't know who was speaking to me or the download and you said F it, my whole body just like got goosebumps. I really believe in a higher power and that divine kind of message. And, with your story, I felt the same way, right? When I went to the hairdresser and got my last dye, and my scalp was burning. I had a rash here. I had 2 days of feeling like I just got like a toxic overload. I got this toxic tongue. I just felt like I was poisoned. That was it. And I just remembered this voice and saying, "What the F are you doing, Nicole? You're a holistic nutritionist. Get over your damn self." And same thing, right? Like, just like, okay, like enough is enough. So I love your story.
Listen, I'm gonna one up you on this one,
Okay.
on that particular thing with your
Yeah.
burning scalp. I was going, and it got to be, I started my first gray at 17, and I was coloring. First it was like every 8 weeks, then 6 weeks, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then a week. Then I would do boxes. I had even my housekeeper helping me color. Then it wouldn't even color. I went to a functional medicine doctor about 4 years ago, and we did all these blood tests and things that were going on with, I had major health issues and memory stuff and all kind of things that were not good. And he did a metals test for me. And he came up with these various things, and he, all the things that were on my list that were very high. And he says, "Vanessa," he goes, "Do you color your hair?" And I said, "I do." And he said, this, he named are off the charts because you really need to stop, don't dye your hair. Like, you need to stop this. I did every single thing. I am so compliant when it comes to my health. I did every single thing that man mentioned and said we need to do, except not color. I could not fathom it. And I had forgotten about that until probably a year and a half into letting the dye go. It hit me and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I was so vain that here is the doctor looking at these chemicals that were so causing me harm. And I was letting the vanity get the better of me.
So true, right? And I know it was like such a shocker when I started to write my book called The Gorgeous Gray Movement. A whole chapter is committed to what is in our hair dye and then what it's been linked to since like the early 70s and the level of cancer and the link to the certain ingredients, I was mind blown. And it's funny how it's like when I interviewed the Green Beaver Company, they're a Canadian company that sells product all over the world, which is like organic and clean. He said over the last 20 years of him going to like wellness shows, the last two things that women have a hard time giving up, he said, is hair dye and the antiperspirant.
Which
And
is a
those
weird
are,
one. Yeah, that was one of my
right?
first things to give up. So
Yeah, yeah, antiperspirant, because they're like, nope, nobody can, smell me, yet you're not going to sweat out the toxins and hair dye. So, I just love the silver movement because we are changing the way women show up. We are changing the message. We are going to be impacting generations to come. Women that, come into their 20s and go gray and say, that's okay, I'm good. And it excites me, and I'm sure it excites you too. Again, goosebumps is that the contribution just to health alone is what is a gift for what we are doing, right? And to be the confident woman at any age with such a beautiful color. So, tell us a little bit more about um, on your journey. You've been doing this now for what, 3 or 4 years.
about
You've got
it'll be 3 years in
three
September. Yeah.
3 years. What's the message that you want to hit home with women that are sitting on the fence, like how bad you did not want to do this and now where you are today, like how it's changed your life?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Everything got better. I used to, I say that when I changed my diet and lifestyle, when I was working, when I was really in the health coaching space, and I changed my diet and lifestyle, when I cared enough about what I put in my body, everything got better. My relationships, my friendships, my leadership skills, I showed up how I showed up, all of that. And I can say the same thing about this gray hair journey. Everything got better. It continues to get better. When I first started this, I was, I'm still single. I'm, unmarried, single. I was petrified. I'm like, how am I ever going to find a date? Who's going to date me? Especially with the going through the process and I can tell you, not that I go on that many dates because I'm choosy, but I can tell you that process, I think the biggest thing is once you make that shift. So for me, once I made the shift, I knew like I didn't use the hat, I didn't use any, and there's no wrong way to do it. But for me, I knew I had to get comfortable ASAP with showing the roots with the super dark. I had almost black hair. I had to do that really quickly so that I get comfortable, which I did after like this. And at the beginning, you tell everybody. For me, I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Because they're looking at it. All you're thinking is they're looking at this and they're probably not. But even if they are, you want to beat them to the punch, right? Yeah. I did that a few times and I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Vanessa? Like, so I got past that. Every part of the way, something that I, despised looking at and seeing, and it would grow in here, just like I said, some of it wouldn't even get covered because it was so stubborn. It became such a shift because I knew, like I said, because I was settled and I'm like at peace that I'm going to go through this process with no support from internally, since I didn't have a spouse or I didn't have, and even my daughters in the beginning weren't really for it. But I was at peace inside, which is what I always say to the women that like, get peace on the inside first, of knowing you got a huge support system. But once I was at peace, I'd wake up every day and I'd be in awe of it. And I couldn't wait for it to get longer. And because I realized very early on is that it was creating this halo. And I was like, I was lighting up. So I thought I was the dark-haired raven, but I wasn't looking older. I was looking freaking younger and more vibrant and more. And I know everyone has their feelings about whether they want to look old or young, but I want to look my best. And every inch it got longer, the more beautiful I felt. Even with the grombre, and even now I've got like, now it's frizzy. I'm just like 4-day no wash. Yeah. I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I don't love that it's frizzy, it's extra dry, but I can tell you this, the experience of loving yourself. I've always, my whole life mission for myself and for what I have taught other women is learning, teaching women to love themselves from the inside out. People say, what does that mean? And that it means exactly what it says. And it's born from my experience. When I say that, it's not about being this vain person. It's about everything I have desperately, and I say desperately, needed and desired for myself to be healthy, to be at peace with myself, and to be a contributing human in the world. It begins from the inside. And when that's right, even like I said, when wrinkles show up or with various things, um, you'll start seeing them in a very, very different place. But it has to be in here first.
I love that message, Vanessa. And I think there's a theme in the stories of the women that have gone is we all come from a place of, oh my gosh, am I going to look good? Oh my gosh, what are other people going to think? Oh, and you get through this, the weeds, and you get through the uncomfortableness, and you come out on the other side. And most of us that like most women that I've interviewed, all love it. They're like excited, they're happy, they're growth. They're like, I do it all over again. Um, yeah. And so, my message always is just like, don't be afraid. It will all work out. And, it's like you should be afraid of the not trying if it's really been on your mind, right? So, Vanessa, I just appreciate you. I want people to follow you. I want them to go to your Instagram. I think you always have a positive message, whether it's about beauty, fashion, or health that people can really resonate with. And I'm just so happy that you're in our circle of Silver Sisters, that you can send out your message. You've got your books, and you've got your new programs coming, and all these other stuff coming. So I just think your value to our community and for women that are looking for mentors where we can age gracefully and show up as our best version is that you walk the talk. And we appreciate you so much for all the work that you've done.
Thank you. The silver. I have to give a shout out to all the silver sisters in the world. You made my life so much better, so much richer, and it's an honor. It's an honor to be a part of this community, and it is the most. I was never part of a sorority, but I can tell you this is the most incredible. I say sorority, but in a positive tone. That most uplifting women that are not catty, that are not. I mean, from my experience, has been nothing but pure joy. I have several girlfriends I have not met in face to face that are they're in my prayers every single day because they are that special. This community is amazing, and I hope all you women on the fence. I hope that you give it a try. If it's not for you, you can always color it back. That's the beauty. You can always color it back.
Yeah.
This is just about letting go of what no longer serves you, and no matter what it is, your hair color, your relationships, your skincare, whatever it is, it's just about letting go so you can just breathe into life and have space. And that's what this has done. This has created so much space for so much more.
I love that, right? The letting it go,
Let
create
it
more
go.
space. So good. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Thank you. It's
Thank
been
you
a
for
pleasure.
tuning in, viewers. Again, you're going to be able to scroll through the YouTube channel and get as many great, juicy stories from other women. If you need that inspiration, make sure that you comment, make sure that you share the channel, give hope to other women that just need to hear the voice of other Silver Sisters that have gone before. And I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, Vanessa, and being part of this special movement that we're so proud of. Until next time, good night.